Oh, what's up YouTube? It's your girl Rhonda Samia and I am back with another video. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Rhonda Samia, aka Staff Sergeant Tabai. I am a Staff Sergeant in the Army. I've been in for 10 years. And every time I say that I've been in the Army for 10 years, I just get so giddy because if you know, you know. Like, I never would have imagined being in the Army for 10 years. It's so crazy to me. But here I am. By the title of this video, y'all know I'll be talking about the cons in the military. And I actually made this video 4 years ago when I was a young tenderoni E5 little old sergeant. I had been in for 5 years. I was at AIT getting ready to change my MOS from an 88 mic to a 42 alpha. So 5 years later, I'm back and I'm at it again because things have changed. Of course, my viewpoints have changed. And I just wanted to make an updated video for all the new young soldiers that I think. And disclaimer, this is not to bash the military. These are my views and what I don't like about the military. Because I know how y'all like to get in the comments and tussle, because you will get tussled back with. But again, like I said, these are my views. This is not to bash the military because obviously I'm still in the military, so it can't be that bad. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All right, so the first thing that I do not like is our promotion system. If you know, the Army promotion system is a promotion board. And what the board is you memorize all the regulations and you go into a room with your sergeant major and your first sergeant, and they pretty much grill you on questions. You tell them your bio, they ask you current events, and then they just grill you on the regulations and situational questions. And I do not like this. I think there are so many better ways that we can promote within the Army instead of having to be intimidated by higher ranking NCOs and memorizing regulations. And I just feel like some people are just not good at boards. So I recently got diagnosed with social anxiety. So when I have to talk in front of people, especially in a board setting, I get so nervous. I start to turn red. I start to sweat. I start to lose my train of thought. Like, it's so bad. But that does not make me any less of a leader, because when I get in front of the board and get nervous, that does not define how I'm going to be as a leader. I know for a fact that one thing about me is I care about my soldiers. I love mentoring and teaching soldiers. I love seeing my soldiers succeed, and I love being an NCO. So just because when I go to a board, y'all don't see me as confident, does not mean that I'm going to be a good leader or a bad leader. Or just because somebody goes in there and they're confident and they know regulation back because they memorized it back to back does not mean that they're going to be a good leader. There are so many other ways that we can promote within the Army. I think the Air Force, they test out. I'm not sure what the Navy or the Marines do, but I think they do test as well instead of a board. I just feel like we need to do something other than the board. Another thing that I don't like is that there is such a negative misconception about mental health. There's such a negative stigma when it comes to mental health. People are afraid to seek help because they feel like that people are going to look at them as weak. And as you know, the military is mostly males. So of course, if a male goes to get help, then they're considered weak. But the Army is mentally draining. We're away from our families, from deployments, rotations, fields for months and months on end. So yes, it gets draining. Yes, you need to talk to somebody sometimes, but that does not mean that you're weak or that you're not going to get promoted or you won't be able to go to different schools. And I think that mental health is so important. There are so many soldiers committing suicide, so many veterans committing suicide because they feel like they have nobody to talk to. So one thing I heart when I have soldiers yo, if you need a mental health day, if you need to go talk to somebody, if it's not me, go talk to the chaplain, go to behavioral health, do whatever you need to do to get your mental health in check. Because if you're not good to if you're not mentally good, then I can't use you. Like, if you're not mentally good, like, you cannot do your job. Like, point blank, period. And I just wish leaders stop making their soldiers feel like they are looked down on because they're getting mental health services. Like I said, I have social anxiety and bouts of depression. Like, it's normal. Like, it's nothing to be shamed about. It's nothing to feel bad about. Like, it's life. Like, shit happens. Life be life. And like, but if you need to talk to somebody, do not let your NCOs, your officers, or anybody deny you of them services. Like, and I'm not saying take y'all asses to behavioral health every goddamn day, because that's malingering. But if you really do need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. All right, this is a big one right here. Organized PT. I hate organized PT. I hate waking up early to do PT. I am so thankful that the job I have right now, like, we do not have an organized PT. I'm allowed to work out on my own when I want, whatever time of day that is when I'm not at work. But having to go and wake up early every day in the cold and the heat and the rain and the snow, like, it was literally like 15 degrees today this morning. And if I was in a regular unit, I would have been outside freezing my ass off doing PT with my company. And I just feel like, bro, it's 2024. Like, soldiers should have accountability of their bodies and they should be able to do PT on their own. Of course, there's going to be some slackers that don't do it. And of course, people use organized PT to work out because they can't do it on their own. But come on now, y'all need accountability for yourselves, because like, who literally wants to be outside at the ass crack of dawn doing PT? I don't. Another one, the Army breaks up families. Now, this can be controversial, but let's be serious. When you really think about it, you are with the people that you work with 80% of the time. You literally, like I said, go to PT early in the morning, and sometimes you don't get off of work until like 5 p.m. And then, of course, if you're in the field, if you're deployed, like, you're with these people 24/7. So, of course, you're going to grow connections with these people. You're going to grow bonds with these people. You're going to grow attachments and connections with these people and attractions with these people. Like, we're humans. Like, shit happens. So a lot of people in the military cheat. But hear me out. Adultery in the military, if you're married and you get caught cheating on your spouse, is punishable under UCMJ. So just keep that in mind. But like, literally, you need physical freaking proof that somebody is cheating on their spouse. Like, you really need to take a picture of them cheating on their spouse for, honestly, them to get caught. Like, but like, and it breaks up families. Like, there are so many relationships that fail, especially when you go to deployment or if you get stationed somewhere where your spouse isn't. And like, it sucks. It sucks for the spouses. It sucks for the kids. And it just sucks. Like, that's just like, usually if you ask somebody how many times they've been married in the military, like, they've been married multiple times. And I'm not saying it's all from cheating. It's a lot of reasons why people get the divorce. But in the military, I feel like marriage and divorce is like something that's not like taken serious as it should, like, if you're a civilian. Just because, like, that's just how it is. Like, we just constantly moving and constantly meeting other people and being away from our spouses. But yeah. And of course, like I was saying from the last thing, you're away from your friends and your family. So again, like, when you deploy, when you go to the field, when you have CQ, like, you're constantly away from your family. And then you're usually away from your friends, because usually your friends are back from your home station. And then people don't have the luxury of being able to get into their car and going to see their family. So for me, I only live 7.5 hours away from Philly. So I can just hop in my car and I can go see my family during a 4-day. But some people don't have that luxury. So it's just hard, especially if you're really close to your family, like, and it's your first time being away from your family. Like, it's hard. Like, but just being able to stay connected with them through FaceTime and time differences, especially if you go overseas, like the time difference is crazy. So when it's nighttime for you, it's daytime for them, and then you have to get up early. So it just get real complicated. And then for me, like I joined the Army when my kid was 1, and he is 11. He'll be 12 in June. And I literally probably have been away from him for 5 years if I counted up my deployments, my field time, and all that stuff. Like I could probably say consecutively 4 or 5 years, like away from him. I missed 4 birthdays in a row, like, and it sucks. Like it really does suck. Another thing is you have no personal time to focus on yourself, especially if you're married with kids and you're working late and you have soldiers, so you got to worry about them and you got to worry about yourself and your kid. Like it just gets so overwhelming sometimes, especially if you're in a high tempo unit. Like it's so hard. Like one good thing about deployments is that that's a time when you can kind of focus on yourself because it's just you there. Like, so you have time to do whatever you need to do. But like being back home and you have all these responsibilities, sometimes it just gets super overwhelming. Like, I've been wanting to start my master's degree for the longest, but I just had constant back-to-back deployments and schools and fields, and I just wasn't able to do that. So now that I have this new job, I actually have time to freaking focus on me and have my personal time. Like right now I'm home, it's like 2:00 and I get to see my kid come home from school every day. But in a regular unit, like no, that's not always possible. Like my son probably would have had to come home by himself, make himself a little snack before I got home, and then that probably would have been like 5:30, 6:00. Like yeah, you just need to make time for yourself. You belong to the Army. You belong to the Army. I don't know why people don't understand this. Like you belong to the Army. You cannot just do whatever you want and wake up whenever you want or go on vacation whenever you want. No, you have to ask permission to do everything that you want to do in the Army. If you want to take leave to go with your family, you have to put in a leave form. If you want to go overseas, you have to put in a special request to go overseas. You can't just come to work and be like, I fucking quit. Like, I'm not coming back here tomorrow. Like, no, that's not how you going to have your ass back here tomorrow. And that's that. Like, unless you want to get UCMJ'd and be doing extra duty and all that. Like, you cannot just do what you want while you're in the Army. You belong to the military. You cannot post whatever you want on social media. You cannot be on TikTok and thinking that what you do is not going to reflect your military career. Like I've seen people post stuff on their social media and it comes back to them and they get demoted, they get in trouble, they get their pages taken down because you cannot just think that you can say and do what you want while you're in the military, because you cannot. Like somebody could watch this video and be like, oh, I don't like what she said, and they can look me up and send it to my chain of command, which is crazy to me because why do you got that much time in your hands? But like people really do that. Like people really will sit here and watch your video and argue you down about what you post. Like, and I mean, but that's what it is because you belong to the military. You cannot just go out and think you could do whatever you want like you a civilian and you're not going to get repercussions in the military. So another thing that goes along with that is individuality. So I feel like in the Army, you cannot be an individual. Like you have to look a certain way. You have to present yourself a certain way. And you cannot think you're going to come to work with your hair dyed blue or green or have different hairstyles that make you unique or have body piercings and nose rings and eyelid ring. Like you cannot do that. When you're in the Army, you have to, like I said, adhere to a certain standard, AR 670-1 if you don't know. And I think that it sucks, honestly. Like, there's so many things that I want to do that I can't do because I'm in the military. Like, for myself, like, I want to have long nails. I want my ears all pierced. Like, I want, like, different things. Like, I want to have lash extensions. Like, I want to do all of that to feel good about myself, but I can't do that when I'm in the Army. Yes, things have gotten better. Like, we can wear earrings now. We can have different color nail polish. Females can wear their hair in different styles, but the guys still can't get their beard, can't have beards. And if they do have beards, they can't shape them up. Like, like, I just feel like a lot of the regulations are still biased. Like I said, it has changed, but it's still biased. I saw the TikTok the other day where the guy got chewed up by his sergeant major. This African-American guy got chewed up by his sergeant major because his hair, like he said that his hair was unprofessional. And he literally had a nice haircut, but he just had like a little height. And y'all know how the people be having it, like, I can't explain it, but if you know, you know, like how black guys wear their hair, but they got chewed out because of their hair wasn't professional, which still makes you think, like, how far have we really come? Another thing is favoritism. I have seen time and time again where a person is good at PT or is buddy-buddy with the first sergeant and the commander, and they just get away with murder. But if I was to do that same thing, they're going to be looking at me funny and wanting to cancel me because why are you doing that? Like, no. Like, I hate favoritism so bad, like, so bad. Like, of course, you're going to have your favorite soldiers that you always count on because you know that you can count on them. But when that starts turning into favoritism, and then that's when that's a problem. Like, you should treat your soldiers all equally. Like, even if you have a problem child, like, you should still treat your soldiers equally. You should not have soldiers that are all buddy-buddy with the first sergeant and the commander and the platoon sergeant. Like, no, like, there is a chain of command for a reason. Like, when I tell y'all, I hate favoritism with a passion. Oh, another thing about promotion boards that I will say, let me just go back real fast. It's literally all about who you know. Because, again, me, Joe Snuffy, can go to the board and I'm cool with the sergeant major because I work with them. I'm cool with my first sergeant because, again, I work with them, and yada, yada, yada. I go to the promotion board and they don't ask me no questions. But little Lily Sue go to the promotion board and she do her job. Like, she don't know the sergeant major like that, only on a professional level. She don't talk to the first sergeant like that, only to her squad leader who takes it up to the first sergeant. And she's getting hammered in the promotion board. But yet Joe Snuffy, who cool with everybody, didn't get asked no questions, and he promotable. Like, how that work? No, y'all gotta treat everybody the same. I don't care. Favoritism. I feel like that's favoritism. Like, if I go to the board and you ask me 10,000 questions, but I found out that Sergeant Peanut Butter and Jelly went to the board and you ain't ask Sergeant Peanut Butter no questions, like, of course I'm gonna feel some type of way. Like, that's not fair. So yeah, again, favoritism. All right, so that was my list of cons of being in the Army. As a staff sergeant that has been in for 10 years, if you guys are in the Army and y'all have things that y'all don't like, leave them below. If you guys are thinking about joining the Army and you guys have questions, leave them below. Hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat. Make sure you guys like, comment, and of course subscribe. I'll be back next week. I'm going to try to do weekly Military Monday videos, and next week I'm going to be talking about the pros of the Army. But I will see y'all in the next video. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed.